Let's hop right into it. All I'm gonna say up front is that this is going to improve your defense immediately, if not sooner. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell. And if you don't mind, drop a like and a comment below to help push this video out in the YouTube algorithm. Today, we're gonna be talking about why the vertical hook zone is something you need to start using in your defense. I don't care what you run in Madden 25. Now, to best explain how this works, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out in a traditional cover 2 base defense. This could be out of a 2-3, a 1-4, a 3-2, any defense you want in the game. And to kind of illustrate how this works, I'm going to show you that the vertical hooks, which are also known as hook zone curls, I could change these slot defenders into vertical hooks so you can see what they do exactly. These zones are reliant on the presence of what is called a mid-read zone. So if there is a mid-read zone on the field, they actually do not typically play a matching rule at all. To kind of illustrate this, I'm going to snap the ball, and what you're going to see is that both of those slot corners just guard turf, okay? They guard an area of the field. They didn't run down the field with the slot or the tight end. It was just something where they dropped to a depth and stood there. So here's our instant replay, and you can kind of see both those slot corners just hanging out, dropping to a depth of about 10 to 12 yards, and they're staring at the quarterback. There's no matching principles to this at all. And I said that this is because of the presence of what we would call a mid-read zone. This is what Brian Urlacher is on here in this play. So for the purpose of a cover 2 defense, if there is a mid-read zone, that kind of deepish, middle-ish area of the field in between the safeties is responsible to the mid-read zone. So you see that Urlacher figures out which one he wants to guard. He chooses the tight end. And then you see right here that we kind of have 3 guys deep against this 4 verticals concept. Yes, you could rip the sideline throws to either receiver if you wanted to and probably catch it, but I'm just showing you the rules of how the mid-read zone impacts the presence of the vertical hooks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that exact same route combo where we just go 4 verticals down the field, and I'm going to remove our mid-read zone. So I'm going to put the vertical hooks just so you can see that the vertical hooks are on the field, and I'm going to blitz this player. So he's just a regular blitzing player, even if I wanted to drop down the middle. And what you're going to see is that this is going to activate matching behaviors on our vertical hooks. You're going to see that they are going to turn and play man-to-man on these players. This rule set actually applies to any defense in the game so long as you do not do one thing. And that thing is go into your coach settings and turn on zone drops for any of these, okay? So you wanna make sure that these are all default. Now, let's go ahead and take this into another defense. Let's say cover 4 drop. And I wanted to, let's go ahead now and talk about the most prominent offense in the game that we all face consistently, which is the normal Y off close and that pesky Y sail. Now, traditionally, people love this play Y sail because it is very, very good at beating zone coverage, meaning that if I were to play cover 4 with hard flats on this field, you're going to see that the B receiver is going to run off not one, but both deep zones. And if not for us being able to make a nice play right there, we would have been sacked, but you saw that the tight end was wide open, okay? So this is a zone beater in general. But as I just mentioned, if you guys have vertical hooks on a play and you don't have a mid-read zone, I want you to take a look at what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click onto this slot corner Ward. Now I'm going to put him onto this vertical hook. Now I'm just going to very quickly snap this ball again, and I want you to kind of see what occurs on this play. You see that Ward turns and matches this player running deep down the field, and I can't just chuck that corner anymore. So we have some built-in rules here for the vertical hook and how it behaves. Especially, this is gonna be great because we have to learn the rules for 2x2 formations. And if you don't know what 2x2 means, we're talking about 2 receiving options up or, near the line of scrimmage, not in the backfield, on each side of the quarterback. Now, the running back does have a huge influence on how the vertical hooks match. We're going to get to that here in just a second. But what we're going to do here is we're going to show you that if I were to come out in this twins look, let's put our wide receivers to the wide side of the field here, and I'm going to call a blitz, like a crossfire loop. This is going to allow me, if I think, oh, hey, you know what? That slot receiver on the right, I want to go ahead and match him. But I don't have a match coverage in this 1-4. I've only got these zone drop plays that I can really play from, or I can play from a cover 3 match, but that's neither here nor there. what you're actually going to be able to do is take this slot corner and put him onto a vertical hook. And what that means is that if that slot receiver goes vertical, he's actually going to man him up. So basically Ward plays man on him. Now, this is really, really cool because what you're going to see here is this allows me, so long as I don't put my user into a mid-read zone, as long as I keep him on anything else, this is going to allow me to basically have a guy that can play that slot corner. So I'm going to go ahead and hot route here, just kind of run a runoff combo. And you're going to see that when I snap this football, we got pressure and we have that slot corner manning it up. So even if I try to roll out, you're going to have to make a play or a throw with the slot corner manning up the number 2 receiver. Now, if you don't know what number 2 receiver means, that'd be a great opportunity for you to check out my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is the best place in the Madden community to get better at the game. From the start of the year until the very end, we are constantly updating the website in our vault, which are curated tips meant to help you stop metas for the most effective tactics available. For instance, this YouTube video right here, we're talking about the normal Y off close. This is one of the most commonly run offenses that you face online, and I'm showing you an alternative way to guard this. My members over on Gridiron have had this for months, and actually, if you have been a consistent member of Gridiron, I've taught these matching rules for individual zones for years, and we've got members of all different skill levels running these defensive adjustments to shut down the most common metas in the game. Make sure you guys also take a look at our Discord with over 2,000 members of the Gridiron Game Plans community helping each other at the game day in and day out, and we have lab sessions in there at no additional charge every single Wednesday evening, and that charge is $9.95 a month. By far and away the best deal in the tip space. Now back to the video. So as we said, the vertical hook relates to number 2 in the offensive formation, which makes this a really good adjustment when we're talking about a 2x2 meta such as the Philadelphia Eagles playbook in the normal Y off close. This allows us to match this player if he goes vertical on a corner or a post or really anything, a streak. This is going to give us that insurance that we have a guy who's going to match him. Now, where this can start to get a little wonky, on the other hand, is when you have a running back on the same side as your twins. So one thing that I want to share with you that I'm sure someone will comment in the comment section, having not gotten to this part of the video, is that they're going to put a vertical hook on the tight end side here. And then they're going to say, well, my vertical hook didn't match. Well, there's a reason for that. And that reason is that the running back runs out of the backfield. The vertical hook will not latch on. So I'm going to show you right here. We're going to snap this ball and this vertical hook will not. And you see that once again, now I've got that rollout corner. We're able to throw that again, but that's okay because you have to think about the way this game is played. The first thing that we need to really talk about here with this is you have to run a blitz that forces them to block the running back. So I'm going to stay right in this crossfire blitz, but we could also go with, you know what, let's go ahead and go with the ram blitz out of cover 4. One of the most common things players will do is they will run the ram blitz online because they know it makes us have to block our running back. So if I'm blocking my running back because I'm running a blitz like so, that forces them to do so. By running into this guard, they have to actually physically block the running back to pick up that guy. This allows me to think in the back, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my slot defenders on hooks and I'm not going to play flats. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could actually play a defense that looks just like this. This is actually a very meta defense, but a lot of players make the mistake of putting their user into a mid-read zone, and this actually turns off the matching rules. So I actually noticed that pro players are almost 99% of the way there on making this defense truly elite, but they had their user in this mid-read zone. I just make sure that I put them into anything else. It could be a middle third, it could be a hook zone, it could be whatever you want. Also think in the back of your mind, if I switch stick, what do I want my AI defender to be on? So one of the things you could actually do with this is put him into a middle third and then maybe put your safeties into outside thirds on both sides. Now take a look at this. So long as we make them actually block the running back, we're going to be in a spot where now our vertical hook will match that tight end corner. So we snap this ball, run the ram blitz. Now look at that tight end. He's completely shut down on that play, and I can't just roll out and chuck a corner out or playmaker a drag or whatever, because that's actually really, really well shut down. So again, you see right here, we've got this slot corner number 17 he's going to actually say, oh, well, the running back is blocking. I'll just play this guy man to man. So he turns and runs with him and stays in that hip pocket, and that corner route is no longer open. And again, this applies to any coverage you want. So long as you do not have zone drops on, you do not have the mid-read zone on the field, you're gonna get the matching behavior. Now, one other thing that I wanna say players will make a mistake in doing is they will shade their coverage. So let's say we shade our defense down because we wanna play a cover 4 hard flat. And then we say, you know what, I wanna match. And then they put this guy into the vertical hook. The shaded down adjustment that they made previously is actually going to turn off the matching component of this. So when we present a scenario where you should see a match behavior, you actually have a shaded down vert hook. So keep that in the back of your mind as you run through this, is that if you do shade, it does turn off the matching for the vertical hook as well. And that can be the reason why this doesn't work. So what do we know here? What are all the rules for a vertical hook to match the second receiver? Number 1, no zone drops. Number 2, if the running back is on the twin side and runs a route, that vertical hook will not match unless you force him to block. And number 3, do not shade your coverage down or up. Otherwise, the vertical hook is one of the best zones in the game to get some really interesting responses against one of these really common offenses that we always face. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure you guys check out gridirongameplans.gg. The website is full of defensive tricks like this that you're going to be able to use, whether it applies to your favorite defense, whether it is your favorite defense. This is universal conceptual. This is something you can run in any defense in the game, I assure you. If you follow these rules, you'll have vertical hooks clamping down on those inside receivers and tight ends that are always open against zone. So make sure you guys go do that. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.